Hello and welcome to this online arbitrage deals video. Hope you're doing well, and today I want to give you some advice, my top 3 tips if you like, to help you with making literally any decision for your business. The ability to make good decisions for your business when selling on Amazon is a make or break factor, right? There's a bunch of things to bear in mind for every time you make a decision. And whilst unfortunately I can't help you out with your specific decision that you need to make, I can give you some of the things to, take into account every time you're going to make a choice, right? So firstly, take pressure off of yourself where you can. You're running an Amazon business, right? There's going to be a bunch of things that are already stressing you out. Don't add to it if you can by getting into your own head, thinking I need to make this decision as soon as possible. Of course, some decisions will need to be made quicker than others. Also, the ability to make quick decisions is an important part of business. But if you say have some time before you actually need to make that choice, don't rush yourself, right? Because a rush decision isn't going to be a good one. So if you do have some time before you need to make that decision, take that time. You must have that. You must, in the universal scheme of things, there must be a reason why you've got X amount of time to make that choice. So use that time wisely. Don't spend 24/7, worrying and thinking about it. Still take time for you. Take time for other elements of your business, so that way they don't suffer. And then if you can as well, chat to anyone that you trust, basically. Chat to them about what it is that you're thinking of. It might not be, oh, hey, look, here's the exact scenario. What would you do? It might be like, I'm thinking of X, Y, and Z. What are your thoughts? So you can sort of like say what you're thinking. You can gather ideas, and that might help expand the ideas that you have. It might, an idea that you get from someone else might be an idea that you want to implement. So if you can talk to someone else about it, if you can sort of like mull things over, compare, gather yourself and think properly about it, then do so. Don't put any pressure on yourself to, get it done and dusted ASAP, right? So the next thing I want to tell you is don't make a decision when you're angry or exhausted. Now, there's a bunch of things that can happen on your journey that might frustrate you, right? And it doesn't matter what line of work you go into, there will be something that, gets you a bit worked up. And if you make a decision in that anger, most of the time, in fact, 99% of the time, if you make a decision when you're angry, it will not be a good decision. If anything, it might have the complete opposite effect, and it can really, take things out of balance. So don't make a decision when you are angry, right? Sort of take a little bit of what I said before about not putting any pressure on yourself. When you're angry, you have to tell yourself, look, like, don't react, thinking of the grander scheme of things. If you can, just like bear that in mind. Find a way to release that anger. It might be that you go for a jog. Maybe you have a punch bag. I don't know. Maybe you have a stress ball. Maybe you have someone that you can vent to, someone that you can talk to. Do what you need to do to release that anger. Don't stew on it. Don't let it like fizzle you out, because that's another thing. Don't make a decision when you're exhausted either, because when you're absolutely knackered, it's more like with lots of things, you'll just be like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, just do it. Yeah, all right then. No. Like, don't make a decision when you're exhausted either, because with a tired, exhausted mind, you can't think of every sort of like variable. You can't make a decision that's going to be absolutely sound for you. So when you do get really exhausted or like angry, just make sure that you have time to unwind and think. All right. So that's my next bit of advice. And the last bit of advice I want to give you is learn to make decisions unemotionally. So what I mean by that is don't let any personal sort of like feelings, if you will, get in the way of a business-based decision, because ultimately it's not gonna mix very well. So for example, if you're, say, letting go of a virtual assistant, maybe they've not been working out for you, but you do get on with them very well on a personal level. Maybe you have a nice laugh on a catch-up meeting every time that you have one. Maybe you can relate a little bit to where they've come from, what their story is, and so forth. that's all personal stuff. If they are bringing you down at a business level, like if their work is not sufficient, and in fact it kind of feels like an anchor in the business, you might get on well with them personally, but if that keeps going, it's going to cost you in multiple ways. And obviously you don't want to lose money where you can easily avoid, the whole losing it. So say, for example, if it was letting go of a virtual assistant, it's a case of you have to put away those personal things and just go, hey, unfortunately, the way that it's working, we're giving you constructive feedback and so forth, but there's not really been much improvement. So unfortunately, it's not viable for myself to, continue running a business like this, because it is having this effect on, my business. And I can't, I just can't allow that to happen. So as sad as some of these decisions may be, as bad as you might feel about some of them that you make, you have to learn to make them unemotionally, for the good of your business. If it means that you have to let go of someone that isn't, say, working out like a virtual assistant, then that's just what you have to do in order for your business to continue, or even to allow it to grow. So in a nutshell, don't put too much pressure on yourself. If you can take time, then do it. If you can share anything with others to, share your thoughts, even if it's just someone to listen to them, so that way you can hear what you say out loud, so that is a good decision, then do that. Don't make any decisions when you're angry or exhausted, and learn to make decisions unemotionally. Bear those things in mind every time you make a choice, and you'll find that the choices you make are that little bit easier. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you soon.